Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Surviving Mars. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back here on the Red Planet with the colony, where things are actually not going all that well at all. We have some cable faults being reported here and there. We have a few bits of malfunctioning equipment here and there as well, but fortunately, we have our rover out there grabbing some metal for us so that we can go ahead and actually start fixing all of the broken things. Today, we are going to be working on finishing the dome, which you might notice looks a little bit different to how it did last time. I forgot that you can actually just change what some things look like. So the dome is now yellow with a clear dome, or it can be that dark version, the more industrial looking one, which I like. At least I like this for screenshots, which is why I changed this, because I thought it would look better in the video thumbnail. I'm not sure if it does, because I haven't made the thumbnail at the time of recording, but based on the last episode, you know, we'll find out, or you will know by now. Anyway, we have things to place. We also have a rocket over there ready to go. We might do that eventually. We'll send the Voyager out at some point. But for the dome at the moment, we have things to build. So we have a living quarters. We have a machine factory. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna really get people working in any other jobs. Actually, no, that's completely false, because we need things like farms.
We have an oxygen shortage.
And we need things like hydroponic farms as well. Okay, this changes things, because as much as I want people working in the machine factory and the metals extractor, we also need to be able to generate food. So the only issue I'm seeing is that soil adaptation is down there. So maybe what we do is we shift things about a little bit. So soil adaptation is going to be next, followed by transport optimization, followed by perhaps, what do we need? I mean, I'm not really sure what we need. We could go for the low-G fungi, but I think the rockets needing less fuel is quite important, and then possibly the fungi. So we'll see how that plays out. Unfortunately, we are still having issues with things breaking left and right because we have been low on metal. But that should get sorted soon, because this guy is going to be on the way back eventually. Why are you not moving? Did I only told you to load up, didn't I? I didn't tell you to unload anything. So go unload over there. And that should be enough metal to start fixing everything that's currently broken in that area, which means that we should see power production and oxygen production get back up to where they need to be. What's more, we're actually going to be able to finish these guys. Well, actually, we're not going to be able to do that just yet, but the point is, eventually, we will be able to improve upon the things going on at the moment. Let's go ahead and get that all unloaded, which means we're hopefully going to see everything get fixed. And what we can do as well is actually set up that that route that I wanted. So you're going to go there, you're going to load a resource, all of them, and then you will unload that resource over that way. So off you go, do your thing. And let's hope that my drones are, they're not prioritizing, they are not prioritizing repairs at all. They are just gonna, they're just gonna build some new things. That's great. We have found some anomalies, which is interesting stuff. So let's have you go and scan that for me. Also, a lot of metal in that area. A lot of metal in that area. Good lord. We have 3 anomalies right there. Well, that's exciting stuff. Let's go ahead and just continue scanning over that way. And we'll see what those anomalies turn up in time. Now, unfortunately, it seems like the batteries are barely charged at this point, so I have a feeling the dome is probably going to be a little bit low on power. The good news is, though, 4 batteries seem to discharge enough power to actually make the dome work. So that's excellent news. This thing here as well, does it need power? Power 5 is required. I feel like you aren't connected.
Anomaly analyzed.
I feel like you're actually just not connected at all. So what we're going to need to do here is go to power and run some cables from there to that thing, just to make sure it actually works. Now, what are you carrying at the moment? You are carrying some metal. Okay. That's perfectly fine by me. We should see power today be significantly better than it was yesterday, so hopefully that works out. New techs are available for research. I saw that alert in the top left before I closed it. Now that makes me think that resources are low. We're low on metal. That's fine. There's plenty of it lying around. That makes me think that, yeah, it's unveiled what's coming next. So magnetic filtering will upgrade the Moxie. I definitely want that. I don't want the fun guy, so we're going to go for magnetic filtering so that the Moxie makes more oxygen. Low G hydrosynthesis will let me actually build, I believe, both the polymer and fuel factories. That's big news. Low G drive will move drones and rovers 25% faster. Probes become cheaper and can deep scan. And we will get a one-time grant of $1,000 million. I think we're fine as we are at the moment. Because we are about to get the extra 100 research as well, which is pretty big news. So we'll just keep things going as they're going at the moment. Where is my transport rover? So it is not actually unloading right now, but I think what we can do is say go and recharge. And then we'll send it over this way to start grabbing some metal because there's so much of it. And that makes me so happy because it's going to solve so many of my problems right now. So that's very good stuff. Also, the living quarters are done. We can change what they look like a little bit. Gonna go for those ones because I quite like them.
Analyzed.
New techs available for research. Interesting. So what else have we got? Moisture evaporator upgrade. More water production. That's big news. We can clear salvaged and destroy buildings completely. That's actually quite important because deleting buildings in the game at the moment just, well, it gives you some salvage back. It gives you some resources back, but the building stays there. So this right here would allow me to 100% decommission a building. That's big news. We can build the drone hub ourselves. We can... Ooh, sensor towers no longer need power or maintenance. Engineers and geologists will perform better in their path. Okay, we're getting some good stuff from the Explorer here. Let's go ahead and see what that's going to be. I think that's going to just be research points, which I am totally fine with. In the meantime, you are going to head out here and start loading up on metal. Then you're going to start bringing the metal back to here. All right. Looks like the batteries are doing pretty well there. Plenty of power going to be stored in those. Hopefully enough to get the dome, not the drone, through the night. And what I think we can also do is maybe look at putting some more buildings in here. So obviously we have a living quarters and we have a factory, but they are going to need things like the farm, which I definitely want eventually. We could build a water reclamation spire,
Analyzed.
which is going to need machine parts for maintenance, but it will recycle up to 70% of the water
Scanned.
that is used in the dome. But it does need workers, so I don't think that's going to be happening. I think what we could actually do is maybe have like a parks district of some sort. So I think a statue just there could be an idea. With perhaps some fountains and stuff like that around it.
Cable fault reported.
I definitely think that's something we could do here. I just want to make sure we do it right. So something like some little alleyways or something. Some small alleyways back here. What about some gardens? What size is it? It's quite large as well. That's unfortunate. We could do some gardens there. And then we could do sort of a large alleyways thing like that, but it doesn't really look right. So what if we were to do some, like a stone garden or some lakes? Be just a big lake. Could be kind of nice there. So that and that. And I think that'll be good. That's just going to be a nice little social area for people to relax, which is kind of important. You know, people do need to be able to relax around here, otherwise they'll get a little bit nuts. Make the Martian night a little brighter. Interesting. Kind of like the idea of putting in a lamp here. It seems like a kind of interesting idea. You know, something like that to brighten up the area between or around all of that. That's cool. I like that I can put lamps in. I might do it eventually. We don't need it at the moment, though. As for other services, the grocer will distribute hot meals and fresh produce. We have the diner, which will serve the finest dishes on Mars, which will give dining, social, and food services to everybody. But I'm thinking that the grocer is gonna be important. People need to be able to get hot meals. Otherwise, they're gonna start getting really annoyed. We could build a diner as well, which honestly I think I will, just simply because we can switch it off. So I think we'll build the diner just over here. And we have other things as well. So the casino complex is luxury, it's gaming, it's gambling, and it's social. Not a bad idea, but the infirmary I think is going to be very important too. So let's go ahead and just get the infirmary. I think we'll put it behind the diner. So something like that perhaps, or maybe back there. I think there's going to be a good spot for the infirmary. So that's going to be everything going into the dome. Obviously, we're going to need a few more resources to build all that stuff. Mostly going to be concrete, which is fine. We'll bring that in eventually. I don't think it's a top priority at this point. But we do have plenty of it, so... You know what? Maybe we will set up a bit of a trade route here for concrete. So we'll just bring it down to there. And that'll let us start constructing some different things. Yeah, so he's going to load up on that. That's fine. Let's see here. My explorer is out that way. We had a couple of buildings not working. I'm not sure what that was about, but we'll get to it in just a second once we send the explorer to look at that. So let's zoom out a second and see what's going on. This building isn't working. That building isn't working. So those aren't working. That's fine. That's to be expected because we don't have people to work them. Which is probably something we should sort out, to be honest. Although I'm looking at all of this and thinking that we could maybe get another oxygen tank.
Vehicle battery low.
I feel like I'd be a little more comfortable with one more oxygen tank just there. We have 2 water tanks, which actually are not that full. This thing here is consuming water. That's fine. Consumes 1.
Sector scanned.
The dome is consuming a bit of water as well. It's not actually consuming food.
Our initial spectrum
Oh, hello.
analysis confirmed it. Chromium,
So we found chromium.
such a rich deposit of such a rare metal.
The geological team, I know I'm talking over the narration, but whatever. The geological team couldn't wait to get their hands on the samples, but this was going to prevent the engineering team from smelting the materials for their ceaseless operations. The experts at Mission Control argued for hours, but the course of action was clear. We will either study it for engineering reasons. You know what? We're going to get deep rare metals. Actually, that was a really... Oh, wait a minute. Deep rare metals. I've never seen a deep rare metals one before. It is not exploitable. That was a dumb thing I just did. That was a dumb thing I just did. I should have taken the engineering research because we have plenty of deep metals around the base already. That was a dumb thing I just did. Also, this thing is possibly going to run out of battery before it gets back to base. That's going to be exciting. Now let's see here. We actually have a decent amount of concrete down here. Let's maybe get you to stop what you're doing right now. And instead, we're going to send you out to grab some metal. And you're going to bring it back to base. There you go. Go do your thing and do it well, like you always do. We have the lakes in, we have the parks in, we have the statue in. Can I change what the statue looks like? That seems like the perfect thing to customize. Yeah, I totally can. Oh, look at that. I think I want the rocket. I like the rocket. Can't change the lakes. Can change the garden. Kind of like that one. I think that one's quite nice. The grocer is not something I can change cosmetically. Can't change that cosmetically either. That's fine. All right, well, at least we have some buildings going in. We can go ahead and turn off the grocer. And at this point, I think we are pretty good to start bringing people in. I think we could do it. I think we could get a passenger ship over here. Now, we have a cable fault, which is going to be right there, which is actually kind of a big deal, now that I look at it. So maybe it would be an idea to go into power and run some power cables around like that.
Search complete.
That might not be the worst thing to do in the world. So that's going to go forward to there. That's going to go forward to there. And those are going to... Can I connect them together? I totally can. So that right there will be a little bit of redundancy at the back there. So even though that cable failed, this is all still going to function, because those batteries are completely disconnected at this point. So that's fine. We'll fix that. We did also just get transport optimization, which is huge news. That is very good news. And we also have a lot of different things we can look at here. So this will increase the efficiency and production of the moisture evaporators. I don't know if I want that. We can get new crops for the farms. Do we have the farms? We do have the farms. That's excellent news. We can... Rover Command AI. The RC rover no longer needs recharging. It will start with 4 additional drones, and the limit is increased by 12. Well, that's good news. I think what I want to do, though, is say that... Well, the sensor... We don't use a lot of sensor towers right now. Let's get the drones moving a bit faster. Let's also get it so we can build these without needing to get the prefabs here. And that's going to let me build a Martian University, which will train scientists, geologists, botanists, medics, engineers, or security specialists. College education is always free on Mars. Oh. Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting. What is this? That's the drone hub. Absolutely want to be able to build things without needing prefabs. 100% always want to be able to do that. Now let's have a look at you. You are carrying 27 metal. Is that all you could get, really? I mean, it's still a decent amount, but it would have been nice if it was a little bit more. Let's see. Is there more metal lying around? There actually is. And that looks like a 47 deposit. Okay. Let's have you head down here. Load up on metal. And then deposit it just over here. And it's just going to be lying around. But that's kind of a good thing, because we need the metal for machine parts. So that'll be a thing that we can start producing when people get here. And what I'm thinking we're also going to do is we're going to look at the way the shifts are going to work in all of these buildings. So we're going to have this working from 2 until 10. So 2 in the afternoon until 10 at night. This thing is going to work from 6 until 2. So I wonder if that means people could work in both the infirmary and the medical thing. This thing only needs a couple of people to work, and I think I want that to work around the clock, if possible. The diner, I'm going to switch off. We're not going to have it working at all. And this thing is going to work at night. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I'm just trying to sort of space out when people are working and when they're doing different things. So we'll see what happens there. You are loading up nicely on resources. Very good news. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to have you just move there for a second. And we did have a building not working. Which building was complaining about it? It was you. So I'm going to switch you off as well, just to stop that alert coming through. And I'm also thinking, would it maybe be an idea
Anomaly found.
to bring some power cables this way? So if we were to bring power cables like that, straight down through that rock, and connect it to there, that would be a line of redundancy, which I think is going to be really important for the dome. Otherwise, people are going to start, well, dying. And I think we could do the same with the pipes as well. And I think we should do the same with the pipes. So again, we have those lines of redundancy, which will basically mean that if this line fails, this one's still going to be working. So I think that's going to be a good idea. Now you're going to go ahead and recharge and also start dropping off those resources, which is going to be a lot of metal for this area. But that's going to be good. That's going to be really good. And that's also all going to get built. We find an anomaly. It's going to be a research anomaly. So let's send you out to look at that. And we also have another anomaly over there as well. Okay, we'll need to keep that in mind. Absolutely going to need to keep that in mind. But we'll get to it eventually. Let's see. What are you up to? Are you are recharged. Okay. So you're going to drop that all off there, and then the rest of it is going to have to just go on the ground. Which is fine. We have got some polymers around there we could grab. Is there any more decent metal sources that we could head out to? Because I would like to bring some metal up to the north part of the base. There's one right there with 40 in it, so that's fine. Let's have you go ahead and set up a route from there, grabbing metal, going to that part of the base. So that'll be fine. We'll get that set up, and what I'm also thinking we're going to do is actually get to work on a third row of solar panels.
Reported.
So let's go ahead and say that they're going to start here, because we want to come in a little bit. So like that, and we'll just get a couple of these built. We're not going to build too many. We're just going to sort of mark out the third row, because I do want to go ahead and put the batteries in here. And I also want to, bring this cable across so we can see what exactly we're dealing with. So that's going to go that way. Can this go around easily? Not really, but that right there is a bit more redundancy, which is fine. In fact, that isn't even connected. There we go. So that'll work fine. That's going to be our third row. And that'll be good to have. We can expand these to the right a little bit, and I probably will. We could bring it up to 10 per individual row, so each kind of line of cable has 20 solar panels on it. But I don't think there's any rush to do that at the moment. We also seem to have a malfunctioning pipe in there. That's
Research.
kind of a big deal.
Anomaly analyzed.
It is being worked on, though, so that's fine.
Water shortage.
Domes without water. Why do we have a water shortage? We actually do. We straight up do actually have a water shortage. That's not good. We might need to do something about that. We did just finish advanced Martian engines in terms of research, which is good news. So I think we might want to go for sustainable architecture, so that the in-dome buildings are going to need maintenance less often. So let's go for that. It means the domes are a little bit easier to look after. And magnetic filtering is going... yeah, that's going to be good. Okay. So why is water such an issue? I mean, we have plenty of it around, is the one thing I want to say, but it's a bit weird that with 2 of the moisture evaporators, we seem to be running into some issues. Hourly production is currently 2. And 2. No, sorry, 1. That's the overall hourly production. So total demand is also 2. Okay, so maybe we do want to start working pretty hard towards those upgrades for the moisture evaporator. And you can go ahead out and check that anomaly. And whilst we're at it, we can go ahead and start researching or scanning over that way. So that should be fine. Why are these going so slowly? Can we make sure to prioritize the batteries, please? Because it looks like, yeah, we are filling up the batteries every day before the solar panels go down. So we are, you know, we could store a little bit more, is what that tells me. And you, unfortunately... Oh, storage space is full. Okay, I thought that was a different alert. This thing will eventually run out. I thought that's what that alert was, but apparently not. We are low on polymers. It's a bit of a concern. But I'm not too worried about it. Because we can get more. We can get polymers shipped in at some point. Probably will absolutely get polymers shipped in at some point. But right now, that's not so much a big deal. Let's just get a couple of extra storage spaces for everything so that we can continue getting some concrete, which apparently we're not using a lot of. Apparently, we're not using a lot of concrete at all. But I'll... Ooh, more stuff in the research tree, huh? So, microgravity medicine will get me the new Spire building, which is a medical center. Now, the Spire buildings are interesting. Those are buildings that go right in the center of a dome and go right up to the top, so a medical center would be kind of neat. Storage compression means water, oxygen, and power storage capacity is expanded by 50%. That's quite a big deal. 3D machining will let me build the machine parts factory without needing a prefab, and general training... Let's see. Colonists without the proper specialization suffer a lower work penalty. We are going to want that eventually as well. But there's still a lot to be done. There is a lot to be done. We really need to fix water. We really need to fix water. We need more water generation. So we might want to bring in some moisture evaporator prefabs. We do, of course, have the choice of going out and building some pumps out here. That is a thing we could do, and it wouldn't be a bad thing to do necessarily. But I don't know if we want to build out that far, because if we build out that far, we need to start building the drone hubs, which we can't build yet without prefabs. Actually, no, we don't need drone hubs. You know what would be a better idea? I think we're going to do this. I think we are going to try this. So if we go here and we say that we want life support and water extractors, do these run out? I don't know if these do run out. If these run out, then we have a problem. But we'll see. We're going to build a water extractor there. And we're going to build another water extractor just there. Those are going to need to be connected together. And then we're going to bring a pipe off of here that is just going to run the whole way back to base. And obviously, it's going to take a little while to build this because we need to figure out how we're getting drones there. But I think this is a good idea. And then I think it could just run to here, actually. So I think we go to there and up like that. Obviously, there's no way to... Well, we could put some redundancies in there, but I think that would be a bit of a waste of resources. So what we'll do is go to power cables, and the cables are going to run underneath the pipes the way we always do, just to keep things nice and neat, so that we know where everything is. And if we just keep going to the left, we can go to there, connecting you, and connecting you as well. So that right there will be a good source of water for the colony, I believe. I'm worried that if those are placed too close together, does that reduce their efficiency? Let's see here. No production during cold waves. All extractors contaminate nearby buildings with dust. Does that include also other water extractors? I have no idea. I have no idea on that. I'll tell you what we should do, though. Absolutely should go ahead over here and put in a farm. Absolutely, we want a farm there. And what does it need to be built? A bit of concrete, which we have. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we need a rocket, and unfortunately, it's not going to be a passenger rocket. I want to bring in a rocket that has a rover, and I'm tempted to bring another explorer simply for the research bonus, but that seems a little wasteful. It might be worth bringing in a couple of drone hubs. We can eventually go ahead and build our own, but I don't know if we want to do that yet. We don't want an electronics factory. You know what? Let's get 2 drone hubs there. That'll be fine. A couple of extra drones might be an idea. We do need polymers though, so let's get 10 polymer. Let's just get the same kind of delivery that we had before. And we'll also bring in a bit of food, actually. We'll bring a lot of food just to prepare for the colonists getting here. Just in case anything ever goes wrong, this will be really good to have. Metals and concrete we don't need. Drones, I don't think we need either. And this is going to be the Enterprise. The Enterprise is coming back to Mars. So we'll try and land it exactly where it was before, I suppose. And then once that's here, and once we've got all of the things in that we need, so once all these cables are in and all that stuff's in, we can bring people to Mars. I just don't want to be in a situation where if, you know, we run out of water, people start dying. I kind of really want to avoid that, so that is going to be a thing that we're desperately trying to avoid. Interestingly, the waste piles over here seem to be full, so let's go ahead and just get a couple more dumping sites around here to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So there we go. All that stuff can be moved. We have a couple of cable faults happening here in a couple of different locations. Of course, that new cable just failed, which is actually a bit of a worry. Gotta be honest. Not sure how to feel about that. Really not sure how to feel about that at all, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Let's see here. So this sector over here has been scanned. It looks like there's actually a decent bit of metal lying around, which is good news. So let's go ahead and send you out to grab some metal from that area. And then, of course, bring it back to base. And I think we'll go for the top deposits there again. So that should be perfectly fine. The Enterprise is over 50% of the way to Mars. Do we have any anomalies at the moment? We actually don't. So what I think we'll do is send the Explorer back to base just to recharge. And I think we could also go ahead and just maybe work on expanding the solar farms. But I mean, looking at this, these things are really well charged right now. So I'm not too sure that's even necessary. Now let's see here. Now what we can do is we can set these farms up to work around the clock. And this is actually something that we're really going to need to do. So I think what we'll do is say that this is going to do wheat. Actually, let's read here and make sure we're doing the right thing. So, oh, magnetic filtering's done. Low yield, but grows fast and needs less water. Good yield, but grows slowly and depletes the soil, reducing the yield of the next crop. Okay. So, low yield and grows slowly, but improves the soil, increasing the yield of the next crop. Okay, so what if, I mean, this gives what, a low yield of 14? This gives a yield of 45. This gives a yield of 34. Well, that's optimal. Optimal yield is, of course, that. These take 5 sols to grow. These grow in 2 sols. Okay. What if we were to do soybeans before? Okay. So let's swap these out. Do soybeans first and then wheat. So that can get an optimal yield of 45, which will be boosted by the soybeans. And then the wheat will have a pretty rough yield because it is going to be 10% depleted by the potatoes. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully that goes well. Now the Enterprise is actually ready to land, so let's go ahead and say that the Enterprise can land pretty much where it was before, which actually it can't do, so we'll just land it there, basically. Something like that should do the job. The Enterprise is going to come in, it's going to land there. Couple of buildings not working. Magnetic filtering has been researched though, which is great news. Magnetic filtering is where exactly? It was this one? Yeah. So oxygen production is up, which is great news. We're currently getting the low G drive. Then hydrosynthesis. What is this? The Stirling generator. Okay, so we wouldn't need to get prefabs for that anymore either. I do think getting the storage for those things increased would be a good idea. But let's see here. That's going to give me the factories that I want. Sustainable architecture is also a thing that we want. I just want to make sure that, yeah, we probably want to get the water production increased a little bit there for the moisture evaporators. That is going to be a big deal. Buildings with depleted deposits. I do believe you are out of concrete, aren't you? Absolutely. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Let's go ahead and salvage it so that we can get some materials back from it. And there we go. We have materials coming off of this, and we now have the RC rover. So what we're going to do with the RC rover is we're going to use it to try and build this pipeline. Although what I could also do is actually say that the drone hubs we have here are going to be used for sort of the same thing. So if I was to build a drone hub just there, that's going to give me coverage over this way a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out. Unfortunately, we do need resources near this thing to actually build what we want to build. But what we can do is at least get another drone hub over here. Although, again, they're gonna need resources. That's the issue, is that all of these drone hubs need the resources. At least I think they do. Are you guys able to grab... Yeah, you guys are actually able to grab resources from there, so you guys can actually start working on the pipeline and the hub all the way up to there. Unfortunately, these guys can't grab resources, but there are some metal deposits lying around, so... Those aren't even metal deposits. Well, that's disappointing. That's just a bit annoying. No resources, more funding, buildings not working. Okay. Let's see, can you guys do anything? You know what? I think what we'll do is go up to here. And this needs concrete and machine parts. So where are you right now? All right. Load up on machine parts. You need 4 of them. So there you go. You get more than enough. And load up on concrete as well. We'll get a decent amount of concrete. That's probably enough. And we'll also grab the rest as metal. So there we go. Got everything it needs. We're going to have you head over and drop the resources there. And hopefully that'll be enough to get that all built. And then the cables along here we're going to have to work on and figure out, but hopefully we'll have enough to build all of that. These guys are grabbing metal and I assume going out to work on the cables, which is great news. And interestingly, both of our ships are ready to take off because we have fuel lying around. Which makes me think that we could probably get the polymer factory up and working once we get colonists. Although I'm going to turn that off for the time being because obviously we kind of need the colonists. So you guys can build all of that. You've dropped that all off, which is great news. So you guys are working on the water extractors as well as the cables and the pipes. So hopefully these are actually going to work. I really hope this ends up working out. Also, prioritizing the extractors is probably a better idea than doing what you're currently doing, which is, not prioritizing the extractors. So there's one of them being built. And the other one should be built momentarily because we do have enough concrete for it. There we go. And then it's just going to be a case of building the cables, which we don't necessarily have the range to do. But if we move you down there, we should have the range to at least build a few more of those. And we could even go a little bit further. Yeah. So we can build some cables and some pipes. But I'm actually thinking that we don't have... Do we have any metal? No, we actually don't. So we're nearly done with this. Nearly. What I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and tell you to load up on everything. And then drop everything off over here.
Vehicle battery low.
And then I think what we're going to do as well is we're going to put a bit of a break in here. We'll leave it there for today, at least for this episode. And next time, we can actually bring colonists to Mars because we have a little bit of work left to do in this pipeline and on these cables. And then these will be working, producing a lot of water, which means that the farms should work fine. The dome will have enough water. And I think oxygen production is working fine too. Hourly production is 2, the total demand is 1. And these are full as well, so I think we're all right on that front.
Research complete.
I think we're all right. Also, low G drive has been researched, which I believe will get everything moving a little bit faster. Let's see here. What is this? Dome bioscaping. Residents in basic domes have improved comfort. That's going to be kind of important. Drone printing. Will actually let me assemble my own drones. Okay. Honestly, I think getting the residents to be a little bit more comfortable is a good idea. But also, that right there is probably good because it means that colonists will perform a little bit better in jobs that they're not necessarily specialized in. And we are getting close to bringing colonists in, so I think that's going to be kind of important. I do think that's going to be kind of important. Anyway, let's see here. This thing has nothing on board. Let's go ahead. Oh, they only take 40 fuel now. Let's go ahead and get you to get off of Mars. That's the Voyager heading off back home. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for today. Thank you kind of for watching. This has been Surviving Mars Part 3. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.